On the news, President Muhammadu Buhari suspends acting EFCC chairman Ibrahim AlGhul as probe into corruption allegations against him enters second day. Cross River joins list of Nigerian states affected by COVID-19 as national toll nears 30,000. And Brazil President Bolsonaro tests positive for COVID-19. A warm welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim AlGhul, has been suspended by President Muhammadu Buhari. AlGhul's suspension comes a day after he was summoned to appear before a presidential panel headed by Justice Ayo Salami over alleged corruption and misappropriation of looted funds. The panel had grilled AlGhul for hours on Monday at the presidential villa Abuja before he was taken into custody. He again reappeared before the panel today. While the presidency has yet to issue a formal statement on the matter, sources in the president have confirmed the suspension of the acting EFCC boss. Trouble started for AlGhul after the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, accused him of gross infractions and misuse of office. And barely 2 weeks after his defection from the All Progressives Congress to the People's Democratic Party, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Agbola Ajayi, has been served a notice of impeachment by the State House of Assembly. Ajayi, who recently indicated interest to contest the October governorship election, is accused of gross misconduct among other shortcomings. The impeachment notice was signed by 14 of the 26 members of the Assembly during plenary today, Tuesday. Meanwhile, the Deputy Governor has filed a suit before the Federal High Court in Abuja, asking it to stop the State Assembly from going ahead with his planned impeachment. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige has apologized to Senate President Ahmed Lawan over the outburst of his subordinate Festus Keyamo regarding the recruitment of 774,000 persons by the federal government. Ngige tendered the apology when he appeared before the lawmakers today at the National Assembly to explain the modalities for the exercise. The minister said, quote, "We regret what happened. I apologize on behalf of the ministry and I hope that the apology will be taken," end of quote. Keyamo had clashed with some senators and House of Representatives members last week while responding to questions about the recruitment exercise. While the lawmakers had accused him of hijacking the program from the NDE, the minister hit back, saying they were the ones trying to take over the project. The legislators thereafter concluded that the program would remain on hold until details of how it would be implemented are made available to them. Still with the National Assembly, the Senate has received a formal request for the confirmation of 11 nominees as judges of the Federal High Court of the Federal Capital Territory. The request was contained in a letter read on the floor of the upper chamber during plenary by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan. In a related development, the President also asked the lawmakers to confirm the appointment of 3 members of the Code of Conduct Bureau, CCB, and the appointment of Omar Garba Dambata as chairman of the governing board of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, for a second term. Now, Senate committees on the respective sectors have now been asked to review the President's request and report back in 2 weeks. A new bill to address sexual harassment in tertiary institutions has passed a third reading at the Senate. The bill was passed after Okpeyemi Bamidele, chairman of the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters, presented a report to the House on Tuesday. According to the bill, an educator has committed an offense if he or she demands sex from a student or hugs, kisses, or touches the breast, hair, lips, or buttocks of a student. It also considers as sexual harassment when an educator whistles or winks at a student or jokes or make sexually complimentary or uncomplimentary remarks about a student's physique or stalks a student. The bill was reintroduced in the Senate in 2019 following a spike in reports of sexual harassment in universities across Nigeria. Local contractors across the country are protesting non-payment of their monies by the federal government. The protesters who gathered at the Federal Ministry of Finance on Tuesday lamented the failure of government to pay the monies used in executing different projects across the country. According to them, they represent more than 5,000 local contractors in the country who are owed by the federal government for up to 10 years.
We can't continue this way. We are mothers. We are dying. We cannot breathe. We cannot breathe in our families.
So many of us executed these jobs 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years ago. And up to now, these monies have not been released. Madam Zainab Ahmed, the Minister of Finance, has chosen to delay and withhold this money from the local contractors. They keep telling us story, we'll pay next week, we'll pay 1 month. Since last year that Mr. President approved and released this money, they have been telling us stories.
Today, I'm owing my landlord 5 good years. My landlord has already seized, my banks have seized one of my property at Kubwa. Because of the money I borrowed from banks, I cannot afford to pay the loan they gave to me back. The president gave approval to enable them to pay, more especially Minister of Finance. But till this moment, Minister has not paid any of the contractors.
Our children can't go to school. We can't eat. We can't live good life. We can't eat. Even 1 square meal is even a problem for us to eat. And we learned that once this money comes, they don't want to pay. They pay themselves because they themselves they are contractors. That's what they do.
Well, let's now talk security. No fewer than 15 farmers have been killed by bandits who attacked Ngige village in Batsari local government area of Katsina State. According to locals in the community, the victims were killed while working on their various farmlands on Monday. A spokesperson for the State Police Command, Gambo Isa, who confirmed the incident, says the bandits chased the farmers to the forest, shooting and killing them. The attack comes few hours after the Nigerian Army flagged off Exercise Sahel Sanity to mitigate the spate of insecurity in the northwestern state of the country. And proper funding for the Nigerian military is essential to win the fight against insurgency. This is the position of a traditional ruler in Edo State. He made the call while addressing journalists after an interface with a coalition of civil society organizations in Lagos in commemoration of the Nigerian Army Day celebration.
We'll be seeing 400 billion, 500 billion. If you convert that to dollars and they want to buy 1 single drone, look, take an instance on Tucano jets. Look at the amount it costs. If they said they need Apache, 1 single drone costs millions of dollars. If Nigerian Army procure each drone per each division, they have like one to almost 7 divisions. If they procure one drone per each division, all the budget has gone out of the overhead, recurrent, infrastructure and other things will come in. So they need more funding.
The trial of Hami Subala, popularly known as Juma, and 6 others has stalled following the absence of the trial judge Justice Binta Murtala Nyako. At the last sitting of the court on Tuesday, Justice Nyako rejected the bail application of the defendants on grounds that the court has granted an accelerated trial. The defendants are standing trial for alleged kidnap for ransom, illegal gun running and offences bordering on terrorism. Following the development, Monday, July 13 has now been fixed for the continuation of the trial. Let's take a break here, but still to come. Cross River joins list of Nigerian states affected by the COVID-19 pandemic as NCTC confirms 5 index cases.
Hello, I'm Dr. Taufik Adeyemi, consultant orthopedic spine surgeon at National Orthopedic Hospital, Globally, Lagos. I'm here on the platform of Scoliosis Focus Initiative program on World Scoliosis Day. Scoliosis is an abnormal sideway curvature of the spine with some rotation. These patients present with uneven shoulders, a hump in the back, and even pelvis. Majority of these cases are painless. Up to 5% of our population have scoliosis, and majority of them are idiopathic, meaning that the cause is unknown. You need a thorough history examination with quality X-ray to make an assessment. Your doctor will advise you on the best treatment modality for your child. Scoliosis Focus Initiative is organizing a 2-week free online consultation to help you during this COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Now on TV360 Nigeria. Here are some of our top stories tonight. Acting Chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim AlGhul, has been suspended by President Muhammadu Buhari. Magu's suspension comes a day after he was summoned to appear before a presidential panel headed by Justice Ayo Salami over alleged corruption and misappropriation of looted funds. Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige has apologized to Senate President Ahmed Lawan over the outburst of his subordinate Festus Keyamo regarding the recruitment of 774,000 persons by the federal government. Ngige tendered the apology when he appeared before the lawmakers today at the National Assembly to explain the modalities for the exercise. A new bill to address sexual harassment in tertiary institutions has passed third reading at the Senate. According to the bill, an educator has committed an offense if he or she demands sex from a student or hugs, kisses, or touches the breast, hair, lips, or buttocks of any student. And to our COVID-19 coverage, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCTC, has confirmed 5 new cases of coronavirus in Cross River State. Before now, Cross River was the only Nigerian state without any confirmed case of COVID-19. The cases in Cross River were among the 575 new infections that were confirmed by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control on Monday night. This brings the nation's COVID-19 tally to 29,286. Of this number, 11,828 have recovered, while 654 persons have died from the infection so far. Nigeria is likely to reach the peak of its COVID-19 cases by September this year. This is according to Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa. Mustafa said this during the PTF briefing on Monday in Abuja. He stressed that the task force is closely monitoring the situation across the country and will recommend the enforcement of another lockdown when necessary.
I believe as the days and weeks ahead would present, I would not be speculative as to what would happen in the future, but we will do everything within our mandate to ensure the safety and the protection of the well-being of the people of Nigeria. If that would require a recommendation of a lockdown, this task force would not shy away from its responsibilities. We will take that decision. We will make our recommendations to Mr. President, who will finally decide. I've said it here that lockdowns might not be popular now, but what would happen in the preceding weeks would determine. Madagascar has imposed a lockdown in spite of its herbal cure.
COVID-19 specialists in Edo State have withdrawn their services following failure of government to accede to their demands. Under the edges of the National Association of Government General Medical and Dental Practitioners, Secretary of the group, Edo State, Tunde Olasakinju, said they had initially withdrawn their services as of Wednesday, June 24th, but they then requested that their members to continue to work till Thursday morning, July 2nd, in the interest of the general public. Olasakinju, however, noted that they took the final decision to withdraw their services from midnight of July 6 due to lack of government intervention. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, is ready to conduct the 2020 Senior Secondary Certificate Examination for school candidates despite the coronavirus pandemic ravaging major countries in the region. Head of the Nigerian National Office, Patrick Aragban, gave the assurance at a press conference in Lagos on Tuesday. Aragban confirmed that the examination will hold between August 3rd to September 5th, and over 1.5 million Nigerian students are expected to take part in the exercise. Abisola Adebayo has more in this report.
The states who are willing should make their schools available for their children to revise. We've done the most we can with our representative at WAEC, and we have this afternoon confirmed that the dates allotted for the exams will be from the 4th of August through to the 5th of September.
The announcement by the minister came as good news for many, especially graduating students in senior secondary schools across the country. But it also raised concerns about the safety of students as the nation's COVID-19 toll continues to surge. At this press conference, Head of Nigeria Office of the West African Examination Body reviews measures put in place to ensure students are not exposed to the virus.
Schools must provide washhand buckets with running water or taps with running water, soaps, hand sanitizers, and thermometer hand gun to check the temperature of all concerned. All examination functionaries, including the council staff on distribution, supervisors, invigilators, inspectors, candidates, and school officials will be required to wear face masks, wash and sanitize their hands daily and throughout the duration of the examination. Let me assure you and the general public that we shall adhere strictly to social/physical distancing in the examination halls by making sure that candidates sit 2 meters apart.
But these new measures have financial implications, and the examination body is soliciting for support from government at all levels for a smooth implementation.
We are appealing to the government at various levels to come to our aid. We equally call on multinational companies, corporate organizations, and philanthropic individuals to donate this PPE to us. It is essential that all examination functionaries are well kitted to avoid the spread of the disease. May I also use this medium to escalate our challenge to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 and to humbly request for any possible assistance.
He also urges students to shun all forms of examination malpractice, as self-reliance is the sure key to success.
I must not fail to warn all schools and candidates to shun any form of examination malpractice. Lack of preparedness is not an excuse to cheat. For the benefit of doubt, standards already set remain sacrosanct. Do not delude yourself by thinking that they will be lowered due to the prevailing circumstances. Therefore, as usual, you get what you deserve. It will be a double tragedy for any candidate to write the examination under these very difficult circumstances and not to have any result.
The federal government has also announced that senior secondary certificate examinations administered by the National Examinations Council, NECO, and the National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEB, will take place after the conclusion of the WAEC exam. Abisola Adebayo, TV360, Lagos.
Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro has tested positive for coronavirus. Bolsonaro made an announcement on live television on Tuesday. After 3 positive tests, which he says were all negative, the president took a 4th on Monday after developing symptoms including a high temperature. Bolsonaro has repeatedly played down the risks posed by the virus, calling it a little flu and saying that he would not be seriously affected by it. He has also constantly flouted social distancing, even as Brazil became the 2nd worst hit country after the United States, with more than 65,000 deaths and 1.6 million confirmed cases. Let's take a break here to bring you business stories and more. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll now join Annetta Felix to give us the latest updates from the world of business. Hello, Annetta.
Hello, Fidelia.
What's the update over there?
Well, Nigeria's Aviation Minister Hadi Sirika has announced fresh guidelines for all travelers and flight operators ahead of the reopening of airports in the country. Sirika, speaking at the PTF meeting on Monday, noted that all air travelers must wear face masks before they can be allowed access into the airport. He also revealed that air operators must decontaminate the aircraft after every flight.
I'm happy to announce that the 2 airports involved that will start, Lagos and Abuja, have passed our tests and they've been approved for operations. Some of the airlines also have been approved to operate. So Lagos, Abuja, Kano are ready. Port Harcourt, Owerri are almost ready. They will be ready before they start. Kano got ready ahead of its starting time. But remember that we're beginning on Wednesday with Lagos and Abuja. So what we must ensure that we do, and what we are doing, is to enforce, to make by force for you to wear that your mask while you are seated, to ensure and enforce that you are wearing that your mask. So we put everything in place to ensure, because we have some cantankerous passengers worldwide, not peculiar to Nigeria, that want to use their phones when we say don't use phone, because they don't see the reason. Well, thank goodness, with COVID, you have seen the reason, because you know people die. So it will be very, very hard to ensure that you put your mask while you're seated. If you don't, we consider you as an unruly passenger. An unruly passenger is not allowed to board our aircraft.
On Tuesday, oil prices edged lower amid concerns that a surge in new COVID-19 cases, especially in the U.S., will hamper any recovery in fuel demand. Brent crude futures declined by 7 cents to $43.03 a barrel after hitting a session low of 42.46%, while U.S. crude futures fell 12 cents to $40.51 a barrel, having fallen to $39.90 a barrel earlier in the day. Saudi Arabia raised its August crude official selling prices on Monday in a sign it sees demand picking up. But some analysts say the move could weigh on already poor margins for refiners. We'll take a look at trading activity on the NSE today after this. The Nigerian Stock Exchange has inched up by 0.30% today as market sentiment turns positive on Tuesday, and that's against the 1.27% depreciation recorded on Monday. And from the market cap here of 12.570 trillion naira, we see that investors today made gains of 37.26 billion naira. Now, with gains of about 3.66%, Airtel Africa PLC is leading the pack of gainers today, followed by Boa Cement with 2.451% increase in its share price. Now, the increase we're seeing here at Boa Cement is coming just after the announcement on Monday of the company to establish a 3 million metric ton cement plant and 50 megawatt power plant in Adamawa State. So we see here that investors are keen on cashing in on that investment. Zenith Bank as well as Red Star Express are recording gains by 3 kobo and 29 kobo respectively. Let's take a look at the percentage laggards today, led by Okomu Oil Palm, losing by 7 naira and 7 kobo. Unilever here by 1 naira and 35 kobo, as well as let's see what we have here, MRS Oil PLC and MTN Nigeria PLC. Let's see our market summary here. 155.529 million shares worth 2.600 billion naira were traded today and executed in 4,060 deals. And to our foreign markets, we see here that, such a sad bearish market day for the FTSE, Dow Jones and the Nikkei, with FTSE especially falling down today as investors engage in profit-taking activities, and that's over fears sparked by fresh lockdowns and bad economic news in the UK. And that's it from here, Fidelia.
Thank you very much, Annette. And now to the foreign scene. International students who are pursuing degrees in the United States will have to leave the country or risk deportation if their universities switch to online-only courses as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said in a statement that the visas will not be issued to students enrolled in schools or programs that are fully online for the fall semester, nor will U.S. Customs and Border Protection permit these students to enter the USA. It added that active students currently enrolled in such programs must depart the country or take other measures such as transferring to a school with in-person instruction or remain in lawful states. According to the Institute of International Education, there were more than 1 million international students in the U.S. for the year 2018 and 2019. The Chinese government says it has confirmed a suspected case of another infectious disease known as bubonic plague. This development comes a few months after the first outbreak of COVID-19 was reported in Wuhan, China. According to Xinhua News Agency, one suspected case was reported in China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region. The Health Commission said the plague was diagnosed in a herdsman on Sunday, but he was in stable condition undergoing treatment at a hospital. The plague, which has existed is deadliest in history. However, it can now be treated with antibiotics. It is caused by a bacteria found in some animals, mainly rodents and their fleas, and some of its symptoms include painful, swollen lymph nodes, as well as fever, chills, and coughing. Southampton Football Club has announced the signing of young Nigerian defender Oludare Olufunwa on a fresh 2-year contract that will keep him at St. Mary's until June 2022. The Premier League club made this known on their official website on Tuesday. The 18-year-old has risen through the ranks of Southampton's academy, earning promotion to the under-23 squad in 2019 after a string of impressive performances. And that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. Bye for now.